Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request for Ryan. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, movie review, re-review, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly on my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you do hear background fan noise, it's because it's hot and got the AC, all sorts of stuff on. But Ryan, he wanted me to do a whole season of the show, but I'm like, well, that's a lot of episodes, and I figured I would just do the first two episodes, episode 1 and episode 2 of the show The Muppets. Now apparently, which I didn't even realize this, in 2015 The Muppets did have a TV show on ABC, and interesting enough, they did it. If you ever seen The Office, they did it in a sitcom style like The Office, where it's the behind the scenes of the making of this show, which is Miss Piggy's talk show. Kermit is the executive, the two of them are broken up, so he's working for his ex, and then the other people, they're working on the show and going through their daily job and personal issues and things of that nature. Now, granted, I only saw the first two episodes, but this was definitely a different take on the Muppets, and I kind of found that interesting to do something a bit different with these characters. And it definitely didn't seem as family-friendly as before, which I think it actually got some controversy. Some people were biffed off and pissed off about that. Interesting enough. So I don't know if that and other issues made it where this only lasted one season. Because in episode 1, there's bits like when they're having their meeting and the Muppet Sam the Eagle, is like, no, you can't have moving hands. Why? There's moving hands, leads to shaking hands, which is the first step to making babies. It's not on my watch. Which I did find kind of funny. Or Kermit calling Piggy a lunatic. Or bacon wrapped hell on earth, which I never thought I'd hear Kermit say. Or Fozzie Bear is going out with a human, and he says a line when you do a profile and you put passionate bear looking for love, you get a lot of the wrong responses. So that means he had a lot of people who were gay, because that is a term for if you're a man who's like big, bearded, I think they call a bear. I only know that because Kevin Smith kept talking about it, because I would listen to his podcast and commentaries, and he talked about how he had a friend. Was it Evening with Kevin Smith? Was the second one, maybe he mentioned it too? I forget what the guy's name. A buddy of his like made like a documentary or something. Because I remember Kevin Smith like trying to do Canadian accents, because the guy was Canadian. I forget the guy's name though. So I never thought, you'd hear a joke like that. Anything related to the Muppets. And you have a bear dating a human, and the human parents aren't sure about it. And the dad's a bit racist, thinking he's like a typical bear, even though he's a Muppet and he talks. Kermit is dating Denise, which is a younger pig. He's like, what can I say? I like pigs. And then the other bits of the story is that Elizabeth Banks is going to be the guest. Miss Piggy doesn't want that. Kermit is going out of his mind trying to find her last replacement, and then going, you know what? No, I am the executive. She's going to be the guest. And Kermit thinks Miss Piggy didn't want to do it because of some audition. No, he forgets that the reason Miss Piggy didn't want that is when the two of them broke up, it was because it was during the time when they were about to see an Elizabeth Banks movie, or at least a movie she was in. And that would remind Piggy of the time the two of them broke up, because Kermit's like I'm tired of you bossing me around. Tired of you treating me like shit. Which I can't blame Kermit. Ultimately, Miss Piggy finds out. There's a funny bit with Elizabeth Banks where Scooter is trying to lead her away so Miss Piggy doesn't see her. And then they start pushing each other off the car. More like she's pushing him off the car, and Scooter keeps. The funny bit is Scooter keeps jumping on the car and trying to take back the wheel. I thought that was kind of funny. And finally, Kermit and Miss Piggy goes, let's just be more honest with each other. And then before Miss Piggy leaves, she says a couple insults to Kermit, including that he's getting fatter. And then Kermit's looking in the mirror, like, well, if I do this, it disappears, right? Oh no, it doesn't. And he's looking like his stomach is fatter. I just thought, just a different take on the Muppets. It reminds me there was a Looney Tunes show, although I don't think it had as many jokes like that. But there was a Looney Tunes cartoon that tried to make it more like a modern sitcom. And I'm trying to remember what. I think it was this one. I don't know. I think it might have just been called the Looney Tunes Show. Where Daffy and Buzz were like roommates and other stuff was going on. And I guess some people may get mad about that, may get upset about that, but I can appreciate that. Again, when you're been in the game so long, to change up the formula a little bit, it's not too much of an issue. There's some bits I thought was funny. I kind of like the idea since the Muppets was all about a show of some sort. They'd be doing it behind the scenes. I mean, I don't know about a Miss Piggy talk show being the basis of it, but it was at least interesting. Episode 2, not so much. Maybe because I didn't know who this guy Josh Groban is. He's a singer-songwriter. I'd never heard of him before. And then he starts dating Miss Piggy, and Miss Piggy is now more calm, and everyone's relaxed and liking it. But then Kermit doesn't like that Josh keeps bringing ideas for the show, that Miss Piggy should have more authors, so it makes the show more boring. Thought the funniest bit when Lawrence Fishburne was giving Kermit crap about how much the show sucks now. I forget what the line he says. Oh, I've been going through some bad things too. What? I watched your show last night. Like it was fun to see Lawrence Fishburne in there and being playful and giving Kermit a hard time. I thought that was pretty funny. Jay Leno makes an appearance because he invited Fozzie to his home, and then Fozzie, I guess, is a kleptomaniac, because he stole one thing of Jay's, like a candy dish, without realizing it was a gift from George Carlin. Then when he comes back, then he tries to steal another thing, and Jay Leno finds out and tells him to get the hell out. I mean, I'm not a Jay Leno fan, first off, and then, I don't know, I thought this could have been a lot more for Fozzie Bear to do. The other characters, like Gonzo, so far, I mean, it's only episode 2, but they didn't have a whole lot to do. A lot of it was based on Josh Groban, and I didn't know who the hell he was, so I'm like, okay, I guess other people know who he is, and popular for them, good for them. Pretty much it ends with Kermit makes a sign that, oh, see, now everyone will know that the person behind the show is a man, which makes Piggy mad and fire and get rid of Josh Groban. I like that Kermit is being kind of juvenile and going bye-bye to the guy. Because it's just, you don't really see that side of Kermit. Kermit is usually just the very kind guy, singing about rainbows. But again, the him called Piggy a lunatic, Bacon wrapped hell on earth, screwing over this guy that's messing up his show, going bye bye. Because he knows how Miss Piggy works, he knows how Miss Piggy thinks, and he knows Miss Piggy's going to fire this other guy's ass and get rid of him. And Kermit's just did it in. Again, some people may be upset about that and feel that's not who Kermit the Frog is. And yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. Like that. I'm fine with that. Kind of giving a bit more to his character, the way I looked at it. So, I mean, the way it's shot as if, kind of like if it's not a camera crew following them, because they're not going to follow Fozzie Bear to Jay Leno's place and watch him steal stuff, but I didn't like The Office, where it has almost that feel. It's not actually a documentary feel following them around, but it has that feel of it. I don't mind that as an aesthetic. I don't mind that as a backdrop. That feel, that look of it. I wasn't an avid watcher of The Office. I've seen bits and pieces and clips of it, but never seen too many full episodes. But yeah, instead of just doing the same thing that you've done before, I'm fine with them trying something a bit different. But like I said, it did get some controversy. And that's the thing, when you have this kind of show, I don't know if the kids would really be into it. If the kids would really get into this type of show. Like, would fans of The Office care to see the Muppets? And then would kids into the Muppets, would they care to see this take on it? Like, so the people who are older, they may feel they're too old to see the Muppets. The people who are younger, they may not get it, or may not jive with them, or may be like a bit confused as to what's going on. So yeah, there were 16 episodes. Just want to look real quick. Yeah, there were 16 episodes. And apparently throughout it... Oh, Imagine Dragons, the band, they were in the first episode. Oh, Leah Thompson has an appearance as herself, because Kermit sees her in an elevator and wants to talk to her. Always wanted to, but then Gonzo... I think it's Gonzo bothers him and won't leave him alone. Apparently throughout it, like Christina Applegate is in one episode, Ed Helms from the Hangovers in one episode, Reese Witherspoon, Jason Bateman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You have appearances by Key and Peele. Let's see. Willie Nelson. I wanted to look into... There was a mid-season showrunner, because it wasn't doing as well as they thought. It didn't really change anything. It underperformed following a massive marketing campaign. Critics got mad because it was not family-friendly enough, and out of step with the history of the characters. 1 Million Moms, an offshoot of the American Family Association, began protesting the Muppets, citing it as unsuitable for family viewing, and calling for boycotts against it immediately after ABC picked it up long before the series debuted. Parents TV Council also criticized the series for not meeting family viewing guidelines and suggested a boycott based on the mockumentary format of the series, including mentions of plastic surgery, inside business language being used in a crude manner, and the Muppets in a bar consuming alcoholic beverages. I just think it's ironic where, how many times, okay, for example, George Lucas, how many times did George Lucas say that Star Wars is a kid's film? Yet it has a bar, and people drinking at the bar, and people getting their fucking, lightsabers cutting an arm off, and people getting killed, and spaceships getting blown up, and whole fucking planets of billions of people getting blown up. It's a kid's film, so that's fine. I guess people are really a stickler for what they want and don't want from the Muppets. But maybe because I'm a guy that didn't grow with the Muppets like other people did. I didn't watch them when I was a kid. I saw one or two of their films when I was a kid. Since then, I've watched a couple more things to people like Ryan. But I didn't, and I knew of them, of course. I knew about Kermit. I would say Muppet Babies was really what I saw more of dealing with these characters was Muppet Babies, which sadly that will never get a release because there's too many people that were working together and now they're all doing their own separate thing and no one wants to come together and work it out apparently. Just a lot of rights being dealt with, which is a shame because Muppet Babies I do remember being a fun cartoon. But that's how I knew of the Muppets was from that. But I mean, if it was Fozzie Bear as a homeless person sucking dick for beer money, and Kermit the Frog, if it was like Meet the Feebles, I could understand the protests. It was, I mean, even on the two episodes, it was still a fairly clean show. It's not like people were doing coke. So, I mean, and funny enough, Muppet Babies did come back in a reboot in 2018 for Disney Junior. And there was a show called Muppets Tonight in 1996, which was a continuation of The Muppet Show. And that's the thing, they already did that, and in this case twice, so, okay, if we're going to bring them back, do we really want to do The Muppet Show again? Or do something a little bit different? But to me, I didn't see anything that made them horrendously off kilter or anything, unless there's stuff later on. But I would actually continue to watch this show. I would. I would have been like, you know what? I'd be curious to see what happens next. What happens with the other characters? I like the idea that they're in the show business and the inner workings, and that you have these celebrities pop up because it is a studio, because it is, and because a lot of people have fond memories. You could get a lot of people. Like I said, they got Lawrence Fishburne. Apparently, they got Willie Nelson, George Gordon-Levitt, all these other people. I mean, hell, if you want to see this done an actual crude way, go watch Grade the Bunny, which had Seth Green, Eugene Levy, I think Sarah Silverman, which was about a puppet variety show that was meant for kids, and then afterward, they're drinking, sex, booze, all that stuff. The way these parents made it sound like, they made it sound like it was Grade the Bunny. It wasn't. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Grade the Bunny. It was used to be shorts on Independent Film Channel. Then they finally got a show on Fox. I think this is what they wanted to be, like this kind of format. But then, like, Fox kept telling them to do different things and change this around and do this. So a lot of studio notes. And once worked in the team style, felt like they got into a bit of a groove. And Sally got canceled after one season, just like this. So I guess this kind of show, just not for the public consumption. But yeah, I mean, if you got the parents, the moms being pissed off, and kids, they may be a bit, again, are kids into stuff like The Office? Will adults be interested in watching the Muppets in this fashion? So I guess it's for people like me, single guys that enjoy the novelty of them trying to do something different and a little bit outside the usual playing field that I can appreciate. So there you go on that. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again to Ryan, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.